everybody knows, this hobby is all in water. So if you can keep water, you can keep pretty much anything. If you can get that to it. So I've been in this hobby for 30 years. I've been doing this growing up from freshwater, 5-gallon slate bottom stainless steel 5-gallon tank I got from my grandfather, which weighed probably like 10 pounds for a 5-gallon tank. Did everything in freshwater from breeding angels, discus, and when I got into college, after that I kind of got into saltwater right before I graduated high school. So I was a mechanical engineering training. I went to RIT, product development. So I'm an engineer by heart, and a contributor to saltwatersmarts.com for writing a lot of articles there. Sitting in an airport, you get nothing better than right. I am an automation specialist. I did everything from manufacturing automation for GM, ITT, high-end industrial stuff, trade in the past. Sold with local fish stores around here just because it's good to spread knowledge. And, the more successful everybody else is, the more demand, the cheaper things go. Right? So that's how I look at it in terms of promoting the hobby on a selfish reason, lowering costs. I'm a collector of challenging livestock. And the latest thing for me has been macros used to be king, but for me, clams are my biggest challenge because they are not as hardy as they used to be. So I started off with this little 12-gallon Mr. Aqua little tank, but it's all plumbed into my 450-gallon system. As you can see, I have a 120 on the left, which is purely got into fairy wrasses, so fairy wrasses, a bunch of big things. My first system was 125 when I first moved to this house from 90. My little 20-gallon Nano. My neighbor gave me this tank. It's like, what do you want? You want this for free? So I converted it to an all-in-one, but eventually I plumbed that into the main system with this water changes. I was trying to follow the local supply. What is the ultimate low maintenance system I can do? Well, I think I reached the tipping point where we still need to plumb here. So it's my little system, and there's two more tanks. An 80-gallon frag tank and a 40-gallon breeder for LPS. So that's my 80-gallon breeder frag tank. And I have 40-gallon LPS anemones. And the reason I did all this is, as I was telling you before, a mixed reef in the hobby is truly a wet dream because you can't keep everything happy. So my explanation to a lot of people last year was this is a big science experiment where all 6 tanks have the same water parameters, but the lighting is different, the flow is different, the nutrient levels are different. So I can keep certain things happier in certain tanks than if I tried to cram them all together. But this system's been going on for at least 13 years. So it has 2 sumps. So I did 2 because 15 years ago or so, when Sanjay and Calvo came up with Seneca Park Zoo and gave a talk, Sanjay's talk was about redundancy. And some of my friends know that come and take care of my stuff when I go on vacation. Stuff happens when you go on vacation that 1 week. Like say the skimmer stops running for some reason, or something goes. So redundancy, 2 sumps, 2 skimmers, more space for fusion and other reactors. One web filter. That's the best thing. But socks, you got to clean out every 2 days. That gets boring. So my system is all hooked up. I got a computer here that runs all my Neptune stuff. But I also look at it as when I have somebody come over to take care, I have my Google Hangouts, Google Contact. If you had a problem, you can call me. My camera, I can see everything. So in my article about automation, I talk about virtual presence. Just because it's automated, if you see it, don't believe it. I used to do water changes from France in my hotel room. I hit stop for the water change, it's still going. It's a delay. So you want to make sure it is stopped. Even though the little slider says off, I want to set be more certain. So virtual presence. So I have pictures and videos throughout all my tanks, salt, and then I can talk to whoever's coming over my house because nobody will ever truly know your system as well as you do. So somebody comes over, I can walk them through exactly what it's like. Even if I had
To the average Joe, that would happen.
oh no. So that's why my level of complexity is an extreme. But I'm not even as bad as some people I've seen on Reef to Reef. Oh yeah, and mine is all purchased over a 23-year period. There's some people that have deep pockets that make their system look like Cadillacs, where everything is beautiful. But it comes down to form and function. Sure, I'd like to rewire stuff to make it cleaner, but usually once you get it in there, it will take a full system crash to justify me redoing stuff. Because things are growing great, everything lives and runs properly, and we'll see over time how long. Because I had to change out one tank because I started seeing salt creep. That's what forces the hand. So I upgraded and changed the tank out. Right. So that's the only thing that forces me to do extreme stuff. But as you can see, the stuff grows. The Australian macro that were all little 1-inch frag. This is a PC rainbow actually I bought from Battle Coral. First time and only time I've ordered corals online. And these were all fresh cut. It took like 9 months to even cross the plug like that. But it's a pretty good piece. They look great. So ultimately, the hobby is the goal of systems to build. We'll talk about some contributor factors to that. Because ultimately, if you can keep your water parameters stable, you can keep pretty much anything. Right? You're simulating natural systems. Nature is its best. Right? So, but if you look at different parts of the world, Indian Ocean, Pacific, Atlantic, and where they're growing these things, there will be nutrient levels. For example, a lot of the orange Ophelia from Indo, you look at where they're growing, they're coming out of outlets of some city where it's high nutrient. Where you think of all the waste that coming out of that river, that's what they feed something. And when the early days, when the Ophelia there, once it got into the people's tanks, they died. It's too clean. So let me see. So there's a couple of different things you need to think about. First is biology. So this is a man-made system. There are limitations. You can't expect to put a shark into a depth. So you need to understand that you have to size appropriately and understand that what is the goal, long-term goal that you want, and how many things you want to keep, and buy the system and equipment that you will grow into. That's why I like to say, buy the largest tank that you can afford, because that is the one thing that will end up being the cheapest thing. But you're not going to be swapping that out in and out. And if you decide to go constantly upgrade, notice that that'll be a more expensive path long term than if you keep on buying. Even if you're buying used, every time you do it, you're taking a loss out of the original. So buy the largest system that you can afford, that'll fit in the house that you want, in the space, in the position. Here, let that be the limiting factor, and that'll define what you can keep. Buy more will determine how successful you are. That's why a lot of times, you You don't. If you buy a lot of small fish, bioload is equivalent to one tang. Tang are like the saltwater oscars. Freshwater oscars just like goldfish. Just eat. They're big waste producers. So depending on the mix, what do you want? Fish only. So this is going from simplest to the most difficult. Fish only, soft corals, large polyps only corals, small polyps only corals. And for me, in my opinion, the mix is the most complex. Because you're trying to make everybody happy, which is tough. Even if you plan properly, you don't know nature because you can't plan around nature. As things grow, they have a mind of their own. So you need to have some room for error. And it's better to start small, go, because nothing in this hobby happens fast. Nothing good ever happens fast. So next is water volume. You need the water volume to match the volume. So I'll give our dreams. I want to keep. This is what caught my eye getting into this hobby. I want hands, corals, this. You know, you can buy them. You can actually keep corals in a lot of fish because they don't produce a lot of volume. So you have to plan appropriately with that. Biological filter maturity. That is key too because you see in some of the shows online when they throw water in and they throw tons of fish in there. Sure, they dump the biological bacteria and starter bacteria in there.
2 months from now, let's see.
Yeah, there's certain limitations of how fast the bacteria still grows. It does still take time to get consistent growth. So it does take a little bit of time. It's quicker now with the additional bacteria add-ons that they sell now versus throwing a piece of frozen shrimp in there. But time is better if you do. Understanding water temperature. So no matter what you do, these are the bare bones basics. You need to understand the top parameters. First of all, salinity. Know how to measure it properly. Most accurate devices, calendars, got some kind of probes, but measure salinity properly. Know what salinity's ranges. Next thing is kind of obvious, temperature. Most heaters have thermometers, but as anything else, hardware fails. So controlling the temperature and make sure it's back away. Shut off salt that case happens. Next is pH. Now, a lot of people kind of poo-poo on the side of the pH, but say nay to that. I found that in my personal experience, once my pH drops below 8.1, below 8.2, I see a lot of things don't grow. You see a lot of tissue recession. They're not calcifying. They're not growing and thriving. You see a lot of polyps seeding a little bit. After I put the windows in, the house doesn't breathe as well. And I have a bigger problem with CO2 in the house. CO2 monitor, watch out. Keeping the pH between 8.2 and 8.4 to mimic natural seawater is a reason. So I would emphasize on that. And the basic big three, alkalinity, calcium, magnesium, and chloride. Alkalinity is most important because it drives the absorption of the calcium and magnesium. This is more for stony corals. If you're doing soft corals, zoanthids, leathers, not as important. All these parameters here are more for hard corals. But soft corals, not as good. Nutrient levels, that affects everything. So when we talk about nutrient levels, talking about nitrates, phosphates, and minor trace elements. Because, in a closed system, as things grow, elements get depleted. You need to be so, but sometimes it gets depleted, but also builds up. So you need to understand how to measure and monitor and control. And obviously, replenishment is right to maintain the ideal levels.
Have you seen Veda?
So going back to step one, setting your bio goals. What is your long-term goal? What do you really want? What is your dream setup? It's better to set up with a utopian idea and work your way backwards. Because if you just start off short, you're always going to want, I don't like that, I'm going to change it up again. And everybody's going to be a constant changer. This hobby is supposed to be a long-term hobby. This is not a short-term, quick satisfaction. Because it's supposed to be mimicking nature and watching things grow. The success you have is being able to maintain, have something thrive under your care. That is success. It's not, if you just wanted something to look at, go take a picture and hang it on the wall. Get a screensaver. Because you'll do yourself a favor, save more money, and you won't build things that you're responsible. So you got to have some type of ethics in your back of your mind when you come into town live livestock. Especially these days where import and export of livestock, these are getting harder and harder. So we've got to be a little more cognizant of what's available. Having the hobby go down the tube and everybody loses. So livestock units, what do you want to keep? But then you have to do some research ahead of time. What are their growth rates? How big do they get? What do they look like when they grow? What are their needs? Because like some of the acros, they all have different shapes. They call them bush. They have tables. Ways. So understanding how they grow will determine, well, you want to put something underneath it if it's going to grow over and shape it, right? So understanding how they grow, how fast they grow, and their needs are kind of so, and as far as stocking water, we usually start off with corals first, and clean up the fishes last. Fish to me, because I'm focused on fish is there to do a job. They're there, every fish I have is there to do some type of work. They're not there to look pretty. If they look pretty, oh, that's bonus. But I always keep a certain amount of fish, like maintenance, grasses, sometimes algae eaters, help maintain the system naturally. Because you can dose and do all this stuff, but you're not always going to be there 24 hours a day. So if you can allow nature to do your work for you, bonus. Make your life easier by planning. So there's the trade-off: maintenance effort versus potential capacity. You can keep changing water, which is the bare basics. Just change water to reduce your nutrients. Or you have a system with the right bacterial maturity to reduce your waste, and you don't have to change water. So today's goal is a lot of people are saying no water changes. If you can get away with no water changes, because in Europe that is the goal, because water is expensive. They charge for water, and then it's not even including salt. So that's where the trade is. Don't do any water changes. They just remove the nutrients and supplement back in. And there's some people even locally around here that have been pretty successful so far. 2 years, no water changes. Like I said, I've run my system, my old system, 8 years ago. And that was running a Cyclone 100. I'm very cheap when it comes to this. I'll buy the cheapest salt available because it works. 28 years I've used Instant Motion. Just recently changed over to the Life Aquarius stall. Somebody told me now Fritz marketing. It's the same stuff supposedly, but we'll see. But salinity is airborne basics. Having an auto top box. pH, like I said before, a lot of people used to say, "Oh, don't worry about it." Well, my personal experience says there's a reason why it's like that in nature. So, if it's in nature, then try not to argue against it because nature's been doing it way longer. Keeping pH is basically the amount of carbon dioxide in the water and how acidification is. So, the amount of carbon dioxide in your house is a bigger impact than running a tube out of the window into your skin to try to keep fresh air. So, what carbon dioxide monitoring system in my basement. I did see something they were saying if it goes above 1,000 parts per million, it's like getting hits. So these days with the newer windows, I put new windows in, the house is so sealed up now. It's good in terms of insulation, but it's bad if you have carbon monoxide or anything else that happens in your house. It's actually good to have something. The air inside around your tank in your room is actually more important than one air line into the skipper. I do that, but it's not the biggest change. The other ones are back to the calcium and magnesium. It's like basic cornerstone parameters for skeletal or cartilage walls. So you want to make sure you are dosing constantly to maintain the absorption. But in order to do that, you need to be able to measure. So I used to not measure anything, but it depends on what you're doing. Soft corals, I don't care. But the ones that depend on the coral growth and the skeleton, that's a different story. You'll find that the rate of growth will be inhibited. But then again, you don't want to go into saturation. But you have to keep these to match the growth rates. Next thing is nutrients, nitrates and phosphates. Zero is not always good. You people used to talk about ultra low nutrient system. Well, ultra low does not mean zero. Because don't forget, a lot of the corals are photosynthetic. They have zooxanthellae, microcellular, that are photosynthetic. Like plants, you're fertilizing your lawn to keep it green, right? So it's the same thing. They need nutrients to photosynthesize. So nitrates and phosphates, it's the same stuff that you find your food on fertilizer. This on your lawn is green. So you want to make sure that the nutrient levels are low. Some can handle higher nutrient levels. Ophelia and archibald coral can tolerate a little higher nutrient levels. They have a lot of surface area for zooxanthellae. So soft corals can tolerate higher nutrient waters. But then actually fish don't care. Not for the most part. They can deal with it. A lot of people don't think about trace elements. Trace elements can be important, and I find that I use calcium reactors. For my system, bigger water volume system is actually better because trace elements, if the coral grows, it really absorbs everything into the skeleton. And if they die, you might as well throw it back into your water. It's free, right? So, because other than that, there's other products like Miracle Mud and all that type of stuff to put it back in. But when you look at some of the other salts, they don't necessarily have all that stuff. So some will have it, some will not. But since I go for the cheapest one, I'm not worried about it since I'm calcium reactive, replenish all that stuff back. It's a little bit better than too hard. And compost works too, but